Ace is here. This is Activating Your Self Love, episode number one. If you are brand new and this is your first time being here, do yourself a favor and go to my playlist and look for Activating Your Self Love, the series. Watch episode zero, which is just a preview of what this series is about, and then come back to this video and you'll be caught up. And if you've been with me for a while, I want to thank you. Thank you again for the support. Thank you for the love. Thank you for participating. This is a series I've been working on for quite some time, and I'm just glad that we're really, really into it. This is going to be a little different from the Affirmations with A series that I just concluded a couple weeks ago. In that series, I was pretty much just off the rip. There was no filter, there was no script. I just did that out of my heart. That was a little different because that series dealt with tips and tools and techniques with affirmations that you can use to enhance your daily life, enhance the way you think, and put you more in alignment with the very things that you say that you're choosing to experience in your reality. Okay. In this series, we're going to go covert. We're going to really jump into the atmosphere of your spirit and your soul. And you're going to look at things a little differently. And I can tell you right now, you're either going to love the content that I put out, you're going to question it, or you're going to be like, you know what, I've been feeling this way for a while, and Ace, all you're doing is confirming it. Okay, you're going to fall in one of those categories, but understand this, that all the information that I bring to you from this side of the screen, it comes from a place of just pure love. Okay, whether you agree with me, disagree with me, everything that I bring out, it comes from a place of love. So in this series, I do have notes that I'm going to be referring to because there's certain bullet points that I do not want to forget and just trust my memory to bring to you. So I'm going to be glancing at notes backwards and forth. You're more than welcome to take notes if you want, or watch the content as many times as you want. But we are definitely going to have you questioning some things about your beliefs, the ideas that you've held in your system, and how you're really interacting with the world around you. That's what this series is really designed to do. All right, so let's jump right into it. And if you've been working with me for a while, you know that I'm huge on defining what different words and concepts mean to you. So, in other words, in the last 15 years of me working with people, I could tell 10 different people the same word, and they all will have a different definition to it. It's never failed because we all have our individual truths, and our truth also keeps changing. So, as we talk about the concept of self love, what does that mean to you? When you hear the word self love, what is your definition of self love to you? All right. And while I can guide you with a general description of what self love is about, you still have to define it. Okay. If we look at, I just pulled this up. If we look at this simple definition, it says self love is a state of appreciation for oneself that grows from actions that support our physical, psychological, and spiritual growth. Self love means having a higher regard for your own well-being and happiness. Self-love means taking care of your own needs and not sacrificing your well-being to please others. Okay? Not a bad description, but again, you have to be the one to define what this definition of self-love means to you. My definition of self-love is pretty close to what I just put up on the screen. No matter who I'm interacting with, whether it's you, whether it's someone else, whether it's to a situation or circumstance, I do not choose to ever give up my truth or my authenticity as I deal with you, someone else, or another situation. I'm not going to sacrifice my well being. I'm not going to sacrifice my authenticity. I'm not going to sacrifice my truth to help you. It's not going to happen. Okay. And I think a lot of times, dealing with different people, they could be family, it could be a significant other, a spouse, a sibling. We find ourselves in these situations where we deplete ourselves to please someone else. Okay. Have you found yourself in that situation? We find ourselves doing things because it makes them happy, but we're not okay with it. All right. So, in this series, we're going to talk about all of that. We're going to talk about how you relate with other people. Do you relate with your family different than you relate to your coworkers? Do you relate to your significant other than you do your family, and vice versa? And why do you do it? So, we're going to pull the band aid back and really have you questioning in this series some of the things that you can do so that you can embody more of who you are. You can embody and walk in your own authentic truth and really take this term, this concept called self love, and activate it within you where you have this thing called inner peace. All right. So get ready. You're gonna be challenged here. You're gonna be tested. All right. But don't find yourself in a situation where you judge yourself too much. That's not the goal here. The goal is to just explore. The goal is to just have you look at things from some different vantage points and maybe make some tweaks here, make some tweaks there so that you can be more in alignment with who you are authentically, which overall is going to help you move along this journey called life in a much better way. All right. So let's go right into it. We talked about the definition of self love, but what I want to do is I want to take those two words and I want to separate them real quick. So let's deal with self. Okay. Because one of the most important things that I feel to this concept of self love is understanding who you are, me understanding who I am. So, who are you? Just really ask yourself real quickly, like, who am I? This is important. Who are you? Because how you view yourself is critically important to all the other aspects of this thing called self love. So, who are you? And you may be saying, well, Ace, I'm a human being. Well, what does that mean? You may be saying, well, I'm a spiritual being having a human experience on this planet. Okay, again, what does that mean? Because how you view yourself, how you feel about yourself is super important. Because there are a number of people that feel that they are limited in who they are. Okay. And it's because of the devices that are working and operating out here that have us limited in how we view ourselves. The next time you're around somebody, just do this. Just say, hey, you know what? I feel good. I look good. I feel like I just do that and look at their reaction. What you'll probably find is that they look at you all weird because we're not taught to walk around and speak highly about ourselves. We're not taught to do that. We're taught to dummy that down, to tone it down a little bit. That's you're coming over as cocky when you do that, or you feel you're better than everyone else. And you have to ask yourself, when was the last time you complimented yourself as far as who you are? But let's get back on track here. Let's talk about defining who you are. See, me, I've had to expand the definition of myself. I'm not just a human being. I'm a universal being. I'm a cosmic being. I happen to believe that I'm eternal, that I'm immortal. I'm not limited to the skin color or the tone or my gender. But many people out here have reduced themselves to that. Well, I'm black or I'm white or I'm Asian. I'm this, I'm that, I'm male, I'm female. And we put all these identity labels on ourselves, which are designed to limit how we see ourselves. So when people introduce themselves to you, they normally say, "Yeah, I'm this. I went to school here. This is the type of work I do. I live in such and such a place. I'm married. I'm single. Da 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 da." It's all these limited descriptions as to who we are. And what I found out in my experience is that when I limit myself in that way, then I cut off the other more important aspects of who I am. I'm more than a human being. I'm a cosmic being. I'm immortal. Yes, I might transition out of this vehicle called the body that I'm in, but there's way more to me than what you just see in this physical body. And that's the concept that we've got to do a lot better at, is broadening our comprehension, our belief, and understanding about who we are. I want you to hear something real quick. Found this very interesting. In life, in your body. Whoops, let me get it back from the start. Warriors, will the future be? This should be human into the top 4 ingredients in life, in your body. Top 4 atoms in order: hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, nitrogen. Those 4 atoms. Do you know what the top ingredients are in the universe? The top 4 chemically active atoms in the universe: hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, nitrogen. I am the universe. Yes! So upon learning that you're not special because you do not contain special ingredients, is the same fact that includes the idea that while we live in this universe, the universe lives within us. We are special because we're the same. The top 4. And guys, I play that over and over because it sums it up. We are universal beings. So when I see you in public, I'm seeing an aspect of myself. We're all one. So I've had to work over the last decade to remove a lot of these limitations as to how I see myself, remove these limitations as to what I'm truly capable of with just me. That's the key. That's the start of it all. I want you to close your eyes for a minute and just say hello in your name. Like I would say hello, Ace, but don't speak it. Just say it in your mind. And if you did it correctly, you can hear yourself say hello, Ace, or your name. Hello in your name. You can hear it even though you did not use words to physically say it. So, what does that suggest? Well, that would suggest that there is more to us than these physical bodies, that there's a consciousness that is taking place behind the physicality of this body. And if that's true, then what does that mean? Because the more mature I get, I'm not going to say older, yeah, the physical body is a little stiffer, but I'm finding that my mind, this consciousness behind me, isn't aging at all. And I feel that that's the eternal and the immortal part of who I am, who you are. So when you take a step back and you look at things from that lens, does that alter your belief about who you are? Does that alter or change some ideas of what you're capable of? Because if there's a true soul, spirit, consciousness that's living in us, that's always been there, what does that truly mean? So I have expanded this version of who I am, what I'm capable of. I'm removing the limitations. It's those exact limitations that have us in this box, in this reality circle of what we can and can't do. And it has so many labels. So in this series, My goal is to have you remove some of those labels so that you can feel the true power that you have within, the true identity of who you are. Because once you can get a great understanding, a broader view of you, the self, and who you are, then executing the love, not only for yourself, but for others, takes on a whole different meaning. Whole different meaning. And as we look at the definition of love, working with the second word, again, what does that mean to you? What does love mean to you? You know, a lot of times when people hear love, they are automatically link it with a relationship. Well, the very most important relationship when it comes to that love is the self love you have for yourself. And if we can expand the version of who we really are, take away the tags, remove the labels, we might find that, wow, we are really truly liking and loving the experiencing of what we're feeling with ourselves. Because one of the things that I've learned on this journey is that I can't get away from myself. I can't run from myself. I can distract myself, sure. Anyone can distract themselves with drugs and liquor and, all many different vices, but it all comes back to you at one point. You have to come back and you have to look in the mirror and you have to get comfortable and be okay with who you see in the mirror. So, as we work with self and love and we bring this concept together, understand it starts with you. It starts with you. And then we can broaden it to include others. We can broaden it to different situations and circumstances that we're experiencing in our life. So when we talk about love, love, in my opinion, does not judge. Love doesn't punish. Love is accepting. Love does not hurt. Love does not ridicule. Love does not operate out of fear. Love doesn't label. And I really want you to understand how, when we separate the words self love and we bring it together, there's a beautiful blend that can take place to not only enrich ourselves individually, but then to pass on that example to others, which then will become contagious. So, self love. We start with the definition of self. And once we have that in a positive, productive, a feeling of worth, worthiness, understanding how valuable you are as a human being, when you can raise your belief about yourself to the highest level, then the love is just magnified after that. So I have some homework for you in this first episode. Yes, we're starting off with homework right off the first episode. Okay. Your homework is to do this. Get yourself a journal or a pad and to clearly define who you are to you. And I want you to start off with this. I am so happy now that I know I'm activating my self love. I'm activating my self love by no longer judging myself and just continue. I'm going to give you that again. Okay. Your homework assignment is to define who you are and to activate this declaration, this decree of what your self love is all about. Okay. And I'm giving the example. You can do it any way you want to, But you can start off by saying, I am so happy now that I know I'm activating my self love, and I am activating my self love by no longer judging myself, no longer ridiculing myself, whatever, however you want to define it and describe it. Put it in writing, and then read this definition to yourself every solitary day until you can recite it by memory. And then start to feel your definition. It's got to start with you. Okay. It's got to start with you. So I'm going to close with that. Definitely make sure that you do that assignment, because you're going to start to see some connecting points with why I'm having you do this with some of the other episodes that are going to be coming later on in the series. So take the time, because the first the first thing that you can do in activating self-love is by declaring it. Define it in ways and in words that mean something to you, and then to embody it with feeling and emotion. And then when you can do that, we will then take on some of these other variables of self-love and add to that, and create the most beautiful picture, not only that you can see about yourself and see as yourself, but feel within as well. Okay. So, love and respect. Thank you for being here. Share this content with others. You're more than welcome to. I want to get the message out. I'm really growing this whole thing organically. So, if you were hit with anything and it hit your spirit, share it with others for me. All right. I really appreciate that. But love and respect. I will have episode 2 next Tuesday. I'm not going to tell you the time, but it'll definitely be next Tuesday. Make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss any episodes of this series, Activating Your Self Love. All right. Look forward to talking to you soon. Love and respect.